They told you $7,000 silver would be the shock of a lifetime, but that number is just noise. The real shock is what happens to the people who positioned early while everyone else was distracted. Because history doesn't reward the loud crowd. It rewards the calm thinkers who moved before the wave hit. And right now, silver is quietly setting up the greatest wealth transfer most people will miss. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, I watched opportunities pass me by because I waited for confirmation, waited for experts, waited for comfort. By the time the world agreed something was valuable, the money had already been made. Then I met a small business owner who quietly bought silver every month while everyone else chased fast profits. No hype, just discipline. When inflation crushed savings and markets shook, his wealth didn't disappear. Because silver isn't about getting rich quick, it's about getting rich right. Most people think price is the story, but price is only the surface. The real power of silver is scarcity, meeting rising demand. Every phone, every solar panel, every electric vehicle is using more silver than ever before. Yet the supply is shrinking. Mines are producing less, governments are stockpiling. Industry is consuming faster than it can be replaced. And when math meets panic, prices don't move slowly. Here's what smart investors understand. They don't wait for headlines. They build positions quietly when nobody's excited, like planting seeds in winter while everyone waits for spring. Because when spring comes, it comes fast. A teacher I once met started buying just a few ounces of silver every paycheck. 10 years later, those small decisions turned into financial breathing room, freedom, and opportunity. While others were still hoping for raises, he had assets working for him. Silver is one of the few assets where everyday people still have a chance to get ahead before institutions fully move in, and they are already moving. Funds stacking reserves, manufacturers locking supply contracts. The quiet phase never lasts forever. They accumulate when it feels boring, they think long-term while others think short-term, and patience multiplies money. One powerful strategy is simple. Think in decades, not weeks. Silver isn't just an investment. It's insurance against inflation, currency weakness, and economic chaos. It keeps your purchasing power alive when paper money fades. And the biggest shift is psychological. Stop seeing money as something to spend. Start seeing it as something to deploy. Every ounce you buy is a soldier working for your future. Every smart move today creates freedom tomorrow. If this message opened your eyes, if it gave you clarity, if it inspired you to think bigger and smarter, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing this with someone who needs to hear it. They told you $7,000 silver would be the shock of a lifetime, that one number would change everything, that when it hits the headlines, the world will finally wake up. But the truth is, the number itself is never the real moment. The real moment is what happens quietly before the crowd arrives, because wealth is not created when everyone is watching. It's created when almost no one is paying attention. And right now, silver is standing in that rare window of history where opportunity whispers before it roars. I remember sitting across from a man in a small cafe who looked completely ordinary. No luxury, no flashy lifestyle, just calm confidence. And when I asked how he stayed so relaxed during economic chaos, he smiled and said, he never chased fast money. He built slow strength. Every month he converted a portion of his income into silver and other real assets. While friends chased trends and panic-traded markets, and when inflation crushed savings accounts and businesses struggled, his wealth didn't disappear. It solidified. Most people think investing is about timing peaks and bottoms. But smart investors know it's about positioning, about owning things the world cannot print more of, and silver is one of the most undervalued real assets in human history. Used in medicine, technology, energy, and industry, while at the same time being treated like a forgotten metal by the public, which is exactly how every massive wealth opportunity begins. Here's what most don't see coming. The demand curve is rising while the supply curve is shrinking. Mines are producing less, environmental costs are increasing, governments are hoarding resources, and industries like solar power and electric vehicles are consuming silver at record levels when a resource becomes essential and scarce. At the same time, price doesn't climb politely, it resets violently. I once met a school teacher who decided to stop waiting for promotions and start building assets. She didn't have extra money lying around, but she had discipline. Every paycheck she bought a few ounces of silver, sometimes skipping small luxuries, sometimes saying no to impulse spending. And over the years, those tiny decisions stacked into real financial security, while others were still stuck hoping the system would reward them. This is the difference between dreamers and builders. Dreamers wait for perfect conditions. Builders act in imperfect moments. Silver rewards those who move early, not those who chase excitement. Think of it like planting seeds in winter. Nothing looks impressive at first. No applause, no proof, just quiet consistency. But when spring comes, the growth is explosive, and the people who prepared are suddenly far ahead of those who waited. Silver is not just an investment, it's protection. It's a shield against inflation, currency devaluation, and financial instability. It holds purchasing power when paper promises weaken. It turns savings into something real, something solid, something timeless. The mindset shift is everything. Stop thinking in weeks and start thinking in years. Stop chasing quick wins and start building lasting wealth. Stop reacting to fear and start acting with strategy. Every ounce of silver you own is a decision for your future, a vote for stability, a step toward financial freedom. And while others spend everything they earn, you begin converting income into opportunity. 5 years from now, the world may look very different, prices higher, economies more uncertain, and opportunities harder to catch. But those who prepared will stand calm while others panic. Because preparation always beats prediction. $7,000 silver may shock the headlines, but the real shock will be the people who quietly built wealth before it happened. The ones who moved when it wasn't popular. The ones who chose discipline over distraction. The ones who understood that true success is built long before it becomes visible. Most people will only notice silver when the price is already screaming across the news, when everyone is suddenly an expert, when fear of missing out replaces patience. But by then, the biggest gains are already gone. Because wealth is built in the quiet moments when an asset is ignored, underestimated, and misunderstood. I watched a young entrepreneur once who sold a small online business, and instead of buying a new car like his friends expected, he quietly parked a large part of that money into silver and hard assets. People laughed and said metals were boring, but years later when inflation surged and markets became unstable, his purchasing power had doubled while others were scrambling just to keep up with rising costs. Silver has always played this role in history, a bridge between chaos and stability, between paper promises and real value, and today it's more important than ever, because the modern world runs on silver, from smartphones to medical equipment to renewable energy. Yet very few people realize how quickly supplies are tightening. When demand rises steadily and supply struggles to keep up, pressure builds beneath the surface like a volcano. Nothing seems to happen for a long time, then suddenly everything changes at once. One of the most powerful habits you can build is simple accumulation, setting aside a portion of every paycheck to buy silver consistently. Not emotionally, not chasing price swings, but steadily building real wealth brick by brick, just like the most successful people build their lives. Another key is thinking of silver as both growth and protection. It has upside when markets shift and stability when currencies weaken. It's one of the few assets that can do both. The biggest mistake people make is thinking small decisions don't matter, but it's the small disciplined actions repeated over time that create financial freedom. While others wait for the perfect moment, you quietly build position after position, creating a future where money works for you instead of controlling you. Silver has always rewarded those who move before the crowd, not after the excitement begins, because real wealth is built quietly through patience and consistency, not through panic and headlines. Every ounce you accumulate is a step away from financial stress and a step closer to freedom, turning ordinary income into long-term security while others spend everything they earn. As demand rises across technology, energy, and industry and supply continues tightening, pressure builds beneath the surface, creating the kind of opportunity that only comes a few times in a lifetime. Those who act early won't just see higher prices, they'll experience stability, confidence, and control over their financial future.